So I'm going to be making a full spread of letter A characters and things that I love. Now, if I'm gonna do that, I know for sure I'm going to include Azula because that's my girl. Of course she's gonna be included. So I guess the question is, who are gonna be the other characters that I draw? But for now, here's me drawing Azula. First, it's only fair to talk about how the idea for this series drawing came about, and that was Drawing with Waffles. Back in the day, she used to have a series where she would draw one character for each letter of the alphabet, and I loved to see what character she was gonna draw. Now, I don't have any self-control, so I can't just pick one character. We're gonna do a whole spread of things that start with the letter A that I love. And you already saw the first one, the one that I mentioned in the intro, the one that I knew I was gonna have to draw, Azula. Obviously, of course, she's my girl. And now I'm drawing Ariel because I used to love this movie so much as a kid, even though I was a little scared of it. And also because I just love drawing her hair, let's be real, like that side swoop, I could never. But anyway, you can see I already have 2 characters picked out, and the goal was to have 3 characters and then a book and a song that all started with A. So then the question was, who's the 3rd character gonna be? And originally I wanted to do Aang, but then I figured it would be too much Avatar in one spread, and so I'm just gonna spoil it for you. I decided to not go with Aang. It just felt like too much for one spread. Especially if I do other letters, I don't want it to just be all Avatar, you know? Plus, in 26 letters, I already have plans. I'm 26 steps ahead, you know? So it had to be Azula, which leaves the question, who is the 3rd character going to be? And if you've been paying attention, you've already seen it in the intro. And then because I only drew 3 characters, that meant I actually had enough space to draw a little book with an iPod. And I don't know if I would do this for other letters if I were to do them, but it was nice to include a little bit of variety here. And now we have the 3rd character, who is Anya, who is also in the thumbnail, so you probably knew that if you were paying attention. I'm gonna be honest, I mostly picked her because I felt like she would fit really nicely in that like bottom corner of the drawing. I don't know if that's kind of messed up, especially because the more I look at this, the more I wish I had done Aang. But, you know, the craziest part is if I were to add Aang, I would not remove Anya. Like, I'm sorry, Ariel girl, you gotta go, you know? Sorry, but it's the truth. I'm just being truthful here. Yeah, I don't know, it was actually harder than I thought to just pick 3 characters. I thought it would be easier picking, you know, like top 3 rather than just 1. But it was not easy at all. So let me know what your top 3 characters that start with A are. It was actually easier to pick the book and the song, which I don't show myself drawing those very much here, so I guess I'll just tell you the book was A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which is the first book in a trilogy, and it's amazing. You should read it. And then the song was Anti-Romantic by TXT, and if you've never heard that song, go check it out because it's such a good song. You're welcome. Anyway, at this point, I was kind of deciding on the colors for everything, and it was kind of tricky to figure out how to make all of them kind of mesh together in one drawing because, you know, they all come from different universes and worlds, and they have different color palettes and everything. So I was having a bit of a hard time with that, but little did I know, disaster was yet to strike. But in terms of the coloring, I decided to lean into the like red and pink thing that they all have going on, which is why I changed the background to blue so that it could like contrast with the colors. And then because they all had that like reddish pinkish tones throughout, I feel like it kind of made everything connect a little bit more in my head, I guess. And at least that crisis was averted, you know?
Then everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked.
And so at this point, I had to stop recording because my screen protector decided to burn a literal hole through my Apple Pencil. But don't you worry, everything is fine. Okay, so it's a few days later and I have got the goods. You can see here I have 4 different tips. And we're gonna nurse my poor Apple Pencil back to health. I don't want to use the same one. We have 2 of these same like plasticky nibs, but I don't want to use that because that didn't work last time. I think I'm gonna use the duller nib for now and see how that works. Anyway, back to the drawing process, but I figured I would let you know that so far the dull metal nib that I picked has been working out fine. It's probably going to wear or break the screen protector at some point, unless the screen protector breaks the nib again. But we'll deal with that, you know, later, when it inevitably happens. But I do want to talk about what I'm doing right now because I do really like coloring hair this way. And basically what I do is I select a whole bunch of areas and then I pick a shadow color or a light color and I fill all of them in at once. And then I use a blending mode to make it look like shadows or highlight. So right now you can see I'm picking all the dark parts and then I'm filling them in and it just looks like shadows. And you can see I can just pick out a whole bunch of pieces at a time. And I love doing this method for hair. I also do it for skin and other stuff. It's actually become my favorite way of coloring. But really, I think it looks great for hair, especially when you start erasing like I'm doing right now. Just like erasing the edges a little bit. It looks great, in my opinion. I think this is my favorite way of coloring hair. Especially because it works for both shadows and highlights. It's just, you know, chef's kiss. But I haven't found a way to color eyes yet that I really like. And I'm still working on how to make more dramatic lighting because that is really difficult. But you can see here, to make up for the lack of good coloring skills of the eyes, I do like to add a cute little heart in each of the irises. And then to finish up the eyes and the whole drawing, you can see here I am coloring the line art. So what I did was I had the line art in multiply for most of the drawing, so I went and put it back to normal, and then I started picking colors that matched the line art, and so I colored the line art a darker version of whatever color. Like the hair was darker red, the skin was darker peach brown, and that was basically the last thing I did before I finished the drawing. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel like those last touches are the ones that really make a drawing stand out more, or like it just makes it look more finished, if that makes sense. And I really think that was true for this piece. I mean, look at her face. Anyway, that's it for the letter A, and I will see y'all next time.